Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Nasser Sheikh. I live in Manchester in the UK, born and bred there, and I'm going to do a short video, a little blog of my thoughts travelling out to Pakistan after 22 years, which I didn't even realise it was that long, but people have explained that to me, so that was a bit of a shock to me. I'd like to just kind of go through, I'm already here actually, so I will do another blog that will just give you more of an insight of what my 2 weeks experience has been. But if I was to rewind the time to what my thoughts were prior to flying out, it's been quite mixed really. My only experiences I can remember is being a teenager and spending a lot of time with relatives and elders over here in Pakistan, in Lahore and Islamabad, and it's been very much of youth and the fun side. It's not really been one for travelling and getting to know what the real Pakistan looks like. So that experience has obviously tainted a little bit because as you get older, you start thinking more about what it looked like than actually knowing the real truth about it. So, as I say, I think I took a pragmatic approach over the past few years and really looked at what has been out there as far as media, what people's perception have been. And don't get me wrong, if I was to look back, probably 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago maybe, it's not been great. I think the coverage that the UK media has shown, what the world has seen, has not been great. I think when you've got terrorism on your doorstep and national news show that every other day, and obviously, as we know, terrorism all around the world is become problematic. But when it's quite focused in certain areas of the world, which includes Pakistan, that becomes quite difficult to take, and you start thinking it's a bit of a shame that a country so dear to myself, but more importantly, so dear to my elders, that it's a shame these things are happening. And reading about bomb blasts outside mosques and shopping malls and just randomly placed, and buses, and the lives that have been taken, it's absolutely distraught to view. And because of that, as we all know, there's been a lot of difficulties for people who've been wanting to travel over who haven't, whether that be the National Cricket Club and the cricket team, or whether that be just people venturing out, holiday makers, flights coming over. That's all been tainted. And I myself have thought exactly the same, even though many years my parents have said, come over, there's lots of relatives here, they're all asking about you, come over. But look, I've got kids, I'm married, and you start thinking very differently. It's not about yourself, it's about your family and making sure that they are safe. And for those main reasons, over the past few years, I've never really thought about travelling. And of course, I go on holidays with the kids and wife, and we tend to go to Europe, tend to go Far East Europe, and it's always been places that have been safe. And Pakistan has certainly not been top of my agenda at all. But what I have noticed over the past couple of years or so, I think there's been a lot less media hype around terrorism, and having spoken to my parents, their views have been that they have come over and they've seen a lot of investment going in, shopping malls being built, bridges, roads a lot cleaner and a lot neater, people's perception and modernisation is coming to the country. So when you start hearing that, you start thinking, okay, maybe Pakistan has turned a corner, maybe there are things that are a lot better for people to view and be safe. That's the most important part. People will travel all over the world. They'll go to tourism destinations, but the key thing is whether they go alone, with a family, with a wider group, they need to be safe, and that is the key. So certainly the last couple of years this has changed. I did travel out 2 weeks ago with family members. It was an emergency situation that came along, but I'm not going to go into that. It's more personal to ourselves, but obviously we had to come out, and we did. So the next blog I want to do is really about what my thoughts have been over here for the past 2 weeks. I fly out tomorrow, so a lot of it will be about up till now, where I've been, what I've done, what I've seen, who I've spoken to, etc., etc. But in the meantime, I think I'll leave it at that. I think it's. I hope I've given a reasonable summary of what my perception and thoughts were flying out, and I think I'm sure there have been many other people who have considered views similar, you know, and I guess depending on where you live in Pakistan, your views may be more valid for whatever reasons, but certainly those have been mine. But as I said, media has a lot to play with these things, and it's up to each country to take the opportunities to change that perception, change those views. And I hope that this, along with my next blog, will give that more confidence to many people who travel out. Right, okay, Allah Hafiz.